Alright, this is part 2 on how to remove the engine on a Ford F150 with a 5.4 liter engine, 3-valve Triton. This happens to be 2007, same 2004, 2009, so let's go ahead and do it. Remove this 13mm bolt here. You can do it right now or later. The engine is not ready to come out yet anyway, but right there. This bracket is trapped between the transmission and the engine here. This transmission was rebuilt about 2 years ago. That's what the owner of the vehicle says. So luckily the flywheel has not been broken. You can see it's more open here. It's more open right there. That's the bracket has been trapped. It doesn't move at all. It's completely trapped. And this is what I have done so far. This is the wire harness. It has been completely disconnected from here. This is the passenger side, and it goes right there, and it comes here on this side, and this side is still connected. As you can see here, this is the power steering pressure switch right there. As you can see right there. So what I'm gonna do in that case is once I'm ready to pull out the engine, I might pull it out a little bit like this, and then once it becomes a little bit easier, I can pull out those connectors. Those wipers have to come off because this has to come off here. There's some 8mm bolts right there. I believe 8 or 7, something like that. I believe 8mm bolt, because when the engine is coming up, it hits the firewall right there. So you have to make some space here. Beneath the vehicle here, the starter, and this is a 13mm bolt here. And this is going to be next on here, 10mm nut. The 13mm nut right there for the positive, for the big cable. And next, I have this 13mm bolt right there. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out. And I'm gonna put the camera aside to pull out this bolt, because I need to hold the starter with my other hand here. Alright, I'm still working in the same area where the starter was installed. The bolt that is on top of the starter is that one right there. You can see the socket, not the bolt, because that's the socket right there, and that's the extension I have right there. Flexible head adapter. Right there, it goes right there. The extension, I'm gonna right there, let's see, right there, so long. Alright, on this side of the transmission here, and this is the linkage cable or to sensor right there, connector. Just pry out that tab right there and pull it out. 2 10mm bolts here for this bracket that is holding the transmission cable right there. And I'm gonna be removing these ones here right now. 13mm bolt and another 13mm bolt here to take off this cover. Not that bad. Be careful this cover doesn't fall on your face. And this is the Driveshaft right here, 12mm bolts, 12 point, 2 here and 2 on top. Also we need to pull out the Driveshaft from the rear also. And I put them in a position where I can get them out. I like to put a mark where I'm gonna install it back. I'm gonna leave it in the same place, in the same spot. This is the rear differential here. 1, 2, 3, and 4 12mm bolts, 12 points. And now all you do is pull it out and it will come out. Remember about the transmission fluid that's gonna come out. Back to the transmission again. 1, 2, and 3 13mm bolts, as I said before. And I'm gonna be removing these two. And I'm gonna leave this one as a last. This one here, along with the other one on the other side. Remember, they are very accessible. And there are two here. These ones are, I believe, 18. I'm gonna be checking that in a second. The bolts right there for the exhaust pipe, 15mm bolts right there, very accessible. And we have two 10mm bolts right here for this bracket that is holding the exhaust pipe here on the rear. This is the cross member here. In order for the exhaust pipe to fall down a little bit once I take this out, and once I take it out from the other side too. Alright, this is the exhaust pipe, 14mm bolts right there. And the other side, they are 15 for some reason. They are accessible, just use wobble extensions. If they need to be heated up with a torch, then you have to do that because sometimes they get really stuck. I'm applying heat right there because it's very hot, I cannot pull it out. Please use safety goggles when you're doing this and do not put your face in the same direction of the flame, just in case if something falls off from there, because the heat takes everything off sometimes, it loses everything, so it's too dangerous. Alright, the one on the other side, I'm gonna try to get it out without applying heat, see if I'm able to do it, I don't know. It came out with no effort. And the exhaust pipe is completely disconnected from both sides, also the driver's side. And top where I disconnected the exhaust pipe, there is a bracket that hardly can be seen that is bolted in the engine block with 18mm bolt for the oil tube, transmission oil tube. I'm gonna go ahead and take it out, and that is better to access it from here. This is the passenger side. You only lift up the splash guard a little bit and then remove it. You don't even have to take out the splash guard at all. I want to see if I can lift up the splash guard a little bit here. Put my camera under here, see if it can be seen. Yeah, right there. Oh. Alright, here it is. And now I'm going to be removing the bolt and the flex plate, 14mm bolt. Alright, down here, that is the bolt, the first bolt already. I'm going to be taking out. I have it in this part because I feel like this part has a little more space. It's a little more open. Dale un poco más, a little bit more, ahí. Alright, the two 18mm bolts have been removed already. Alright, I put the cart already. Also, we come here, see the 18mm nut right there. Right there, see? I put them back by hand, but they are loose. Why is that? Because those nuts will help the transmission not to move this way like this to the sides. So that's why I put them back by hand right there. Here on the driver's side, this is the other bolt here. We're gonna go ahead and take it out. Alright, this is the frame here, and these are the two 18mm nuts, as you can see them right here. And what you do is you just pry both of them little by little to the rear of the truck, so the transmission can slide to the rear. Some people pry them out like this without the nut, but I like to do this with the nut because I don't like to damage the stud right there. So with this, you don't damage the thread. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to do this with one hand, but that's how you move the transmission to the rear. And take a look at the transmission, completely disconnected or detached from the engine already. Alright, nothing to do with the engine anymore. So that is good. The pipe right there is still attached to the rear of the engine there. The hose and the brake booster, that becomes a metal tube as it goes to the rear of the engine. Also is attached with a bolt to the rear of the engine. And also this 15mm bolt here with this bracket that has attached this wire harness to the engine here has to be taken off. Alright, thanks for watching part 2 if you missed part 1, and stay blessed.